Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Wednesday, the 7th of August, 2017. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, bringing you the day's national top stories translated into English 6 days a week. The Civil Emergency Service has reported 13 new fires in the past 24 hours. Affected areas include Dibra, Lej, Tiran, Elbasan, Fir, Durrës, Gjirokastra and Berat. 128 firefighting teams assisted by 21 firefighting vehicles, 215 military forces, helicopters, dozens of volunteers and employees of the Directorate of Forests have all been battling the blazes. Fires have burned dozens of hectares of bushes and trees and put many houses at risk. In Dibra, fires are still active in some areas, risking nearby houses. The firefighting teams, supported by military forces, have controlled the fire and prevented damage to houses, but the blazes are still active. Volunteer forces and employees of the Directorate of Forests are also engaged in the battle to extinguish the flames. According to the Civil Emergency Service, about 5 hectares of bushes and pines have been burned in Lej so far. Blazes in some areas have reactivated and military forces are aiding the firefighting teams from the air as intervention from land is difficult because of the mountainous terrain. In Tiran, the operation to extinguish the flames near the Kraba tunnel continues. Firefighting teams are being supported by military forces. The blazes are temporarily isolated, but the operation is ongoing. The operation to extinguish the fire near the Shenjerj village also continues. Firefighters and a helicopter are battling with blazes, but isolating the flames has been difficult due to the rugged terrain. The fire in Shenjerj is burning bushes and pines. In the Elbasan area, fire is still active in Jinar, with the mountainous terrain, strong winds and high temperatures all favouring the flames there. Military forces have been sent to help with the operation. Meanwhile, fire in Librajde has been completely extinguished after an air intervention. Fires were also completely extinguished in the Fir area, where bushes and olive trees were burned. According to the Civil Emergency Service, 5 hectares of bushes and pines were burned in the Durrës area, though the blaze is reported to have been completely extinguished. In Gjirokastra, the firefighting teams continue with their operation to extinguish flames in the Yorgusat village, where a surface with bushes and pastures is burning. Military forces have also been sent to help with the operation there, which is still ongoing. In Berat, flames are still active in Bogova Park. Firefighting teams could not enter to extinguish the flames due to the rugged terrain. A helicopter will be sent to put out the fire. The hot weather, drought and strong winds have favoured spread of fires across the country. The persisting hot weather ensures the danger of fire remains, and as such, the civil emergency specialists are keeping the situation under constant monitoring throughout the country. Should you notice any signs of fire, do ensure you contact emergency phone numbers as per the request of the Civil Emergency Service. The fire situation is problematic in Mat, Klos and Bulqizë, where there are still active blazes. Dibra's prefect told Aura News that firefighting teams are engaged to extinguish the flames, adding that the fires are not risking nearby houses. Volunteer teams and Viva helicopters are also engaged to help the firefighting teams. The situation is more problematic in Bulqizë, where there are 4 blazes still active. In the village of Gur, near Klos, a Viva helicopter has conducted a 7-hour operation to extinguish the flames, declared Bulqizë's prefect. He went on to add that there is a lack of commitment from local governments because of the absence of means and human resources to handle such situations. Meanwhile, the Director of Forests weighed in on the fire situation in Bulqizë, saying that it is really serious despite the interventions made. The Director of Forests added that the fires erupted from human causes. The Director of Forests calls on specialised structures to find out who set those fires. The Director of Forests asks for the intervention of military forces from the air in order to normalise the situation. Considerable damage has already been caused by the fires. Dozens of hectares of pastures, bushes and forests have burned, but luckily no people or livestock have been hurt. Recently, there has been a debate about the ankle bracelets used to electronically monitor the movement of persons under house arrest or on probation. The Minister of Justice has asked that the Probation Service administer the electronic bracelets and not the company who won the bid for the supply of the ankle bracelets. A few days ago, the Minister of Justice ordered the company to return the bracelets to the Probation Service. Today, the representatives of the company delivered the bracelets to the Ministry. It is learned that the Ministry has set up a group to verify the technical specifications for every bracelet and the electronic equipment to confirm they are in accordance with the specifications agreed in the contract. As the representatives of the company were handing the bracelets over, the Director of the Probation Service told journalists that he does not share the opinion of the Minister of Justice. He stated that the electronic bracelets were left under the company's administration in order for the service to be more efficient and to be implemented swiftly when needed. The Director of the Probation Service went on to say that there are added bureaucracies if the Ministry of Justice administers the electronic bracelets. The Director added that the publication of this case in the media and questioning of this service has had a negative impact on the people who are currently under house arrest and required to wear the bracelets. There are about 90 people being monitored. After the recent publications, there have been cases of people attempting to remove the ankle monitors. Our staff have had to make contact with them and advise them to reaffix the bracelet in order to prevent a violation, said the Director of the Probation Service. He emphasised that any person who damages an electronic ankle monitoring bracelet will be required to foot the bill for a replacement. Gas stations without a licence will no longer be allowed to operate in the capital. Tirana City Hall reported today that it will launch an operation for blocking all gas stations that exercise their activity without relevant licences and necessary documentation. According to the City Hall, only 3 out of 173 gas stations have applied for a licence and they did not have the complete documentation. The City Hall issued a statement reading, "There are actually 173 gas stations that exercise their activity in Tirana and only 3 of them have applied for a licence. When the gas stations are operating without the necessary documentations and licences to exert their activity, they are in violation of the law. The City Hall will immediately block them from conducting business." In cooperation with other state institutions, the City Hall will continue to conduct periodic checks and block trade activity until businesses are equipped with the necessary documents. They must also have paid all obligations and taxes as required by law. The City Hall appeals to all subjects in the field of retailing fuels, gas or lubricating oil to abide by the legislation in force, as this will prevent accidents caused by exercising their activities in an illegal way. Since the beginning of July, around 26,000 people have entered Albania through the Port of Vlora. The data has been confirmed by the Chief of Marketing at the Port of Vlora, who says that 30% of arrivals are foreigners, mainly from Italy, Switzerland and Bulgaria. Vlora's port has added staff in order to face the high number of tourists. The Port of Vlora has taken measures to deal with the influx by increasing the number of employees and boosting security in all of our offices. The port has operated with 9 open tellers for document checks in order to provide a better service to all who enter Albania, said the Director of Marketing at Vlora's port. 9,000 people have already entered Albania through Vlora's port in August, and the Director says that passenger numbers will continue to increase, especially after August 15. During August, an additional Vlora-Brindisi ferry has been made available to cope with the high number of tourists and to ensure everyone can be serviced appropriately. A summer camp for disabled youth has been set up in Velopoj, giving the opportunity to be integrated into daily life and to enjoy the tourist area of Velopoj. Shkodра's Archbishop Angelo Massafra and the Secretary of the Apostolic Nunciature of the Holy See, Romano Mbuena, visited the camp and praised the initiative. There are greater needs, and I do believe that people can help a lot through volunteer work, but so few actually engage in this kind of action. Thank you to the group of animators for giving so much love. This love has kindness in its focus. This is not easy because it requires sacrifice, commitment and patience, said Mbuena. Archbishop Massafra added that this is a great project and one which should be applied in other cities as well. As Mother Teresa used to say, we should be close to those who need us because these people need all kinds of support. Love for the less fortunate is demonstrative of our culture, said Archbishop Massafra. A volunteer from Turkey said that she enjoys being part of such projects as it gives her the opportunity to help to improve the quality of life for these children. The summer camp for the disabled is financially supported by the Italian and Spanish Catholic churches, as well as other volunteers from around the world. That's all for our English edition this evening. My name is Alexandra. Please join me again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. On behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.